Welcome back to the program. You're still watching Daily Politics on Trust TV. Now, a newly appointed 29-member executive committee led by former Minister of Finance Nenadi Usman is set to oversee the Labour Party's operations and organize state and national congresses. This decision follows a meeting called by Abia State Governor Alex Otti, attended by key party figures including Peter Obi and his running mate in the 2023 presidential election. Joining us tonight from Enugu to shed light on this development is Ikenna Azomchine, one of the Party Scribe who was present at the Abia meeting. Good evening to you, and thank you most kindly for joining the conversation. I understand that obedient general is the word there, but of course we're just going to go with Labour Party Scribe for this conversation. Thank you most kindly for joining us on Daily Politics.
Good evening. Sorry, I'm wearing my lens. You can see I can't find the cleaner one, but this is okay. Otherwise, I can see you.
I think it suffices. I think it suffices. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. Now, explain this confusion for Labour Party followers, supporters, people who are keenly interested in political developments in the country. What is going on in the Labour Party? It seems things are getting from bad to worse.
Not really. Good evening, viewers. In fact, things are getting straightened up. You know, we found ourselves in a gap between Abure's tenure expiration and the party refocusing itself towards building a solid, party before the 2027 elections. And we felt that the lacuna was not healthy for the party. And you can see who is who in Labour Party was there at the extended stakeholders meeting in Abia State.
What is a stakeholders meeting compared to the provisions of the Labour Party constitution? But before we get into the details of the legality of what happened in Abia, I just want to play a few tracks of that particular gathering, the thoughts of Peter Obi, the presidential candidate in the 2023 presidential election, the governor of Abia State who convened that meeting, as well as the fallout from that meeting, because the different chapters of the Labour parties are reacting to this particular development. So let's have a listen to some of the thoughts of the people in attendance at that stakeholders meeting in Abia.
We're not here, like you said, all we're doing here is to continue the exercise of building. We're not here to dissolve, we're not here to suspend or sack anybody. We just want to do it properly.
What we are doing here is just to save our party. Where we found ourselves is that as at the 8th of June 2024, this moment, that our party does not have leadership.
What came out of the meeting is laughable. Because, number one, we learned Senator Nenadi Usman is appointed as the interim national chairman. The governor should know that he has no right to appoint her. It's only the national chairman and the national secretary can call for a NEC meeting or expanded meeting within Labour Party. The meeting yesterday in Abia is just to create unnecessary tension within the Labour Party. We all know from their body language, they are on their way out of Labour Party. So they are trying to destroy Labour Party before they leave. So we outrightly rejected her appointment as the national caretaker chairman, because the meeting, after all, is an illegal meeting.
All right, let's kick things off or perhaps double down on the thoughts of the Labour Party chairman there from Kaduna, by the way, reacting to the outcome of that stakeholders meeting in Abia State. Your reaction to their position about the illegality and the outcome of that meeting, which came up with the 29 caretaker committee for the Labour Party?
This set of guys are people who are drowning. You know, we are talking about the party that supposedly won the 2023 elections, but were denied. You saw everybody in Umuahia. You saw all the governorship aspirants from Lagos to Ebonyi present. You saw past leaders of Labour Party. You saw the NLC and TUC present. You saw our almighty P2B present, and the highest ranking elected officer of the party, who is the governor of Abia State, in present. So who is missing? We need to be serious about people we call. I mean, you don't give credence to people who are just causing mayhem. You know, P2B is the spirit that energized the Labour Party to success of where it is today. So I don't want to join issues with these guys. The Labour Party and the leadership are taking steps, just like I watched the Arewa Forum now, you know, looking into the problem of the North, identifying the real issues. That was what happened in Umuahia. And as far as I'm concerned, any Nigerian that has, you know, any sense of politics and common sense would see that the Labour Party under His Excellency P2B and our amiable governor in Abia State have, you know, taken care of, you know, the problems. And really, we don't want to be distracted by this set of human beings.
Right.
Abure is the past, please.
Okay, let's talk about legally binding issues, right? We are a country governed by constitution. The political parties themselves are a product of the constitution. We as citizens are recognized by the constitution. And of course, all the operations of political parties in this country are governed by the constitution. And that in itself means that the parties themselves have their own sets of rules that they need to oblige with. At the highest level, at the topmost level of the party structure is the National Convention. That is the body that has the superior power over every other party structure within the Labour Party. As you can imagine, it is the same with other political parties. Then next to it is the National Executive Council. You did talk about who and who was there and who wasn't. But let's talk about who wasn't. Because this and what that meeting in Abia was not. That meeting was not a NEC meeting. It was not a convention. So it does not classify or fall under the classification of what you have within the Labour Party constitution. Having said that, doesn't it then make sense that whatever the outcome of that meeting is will not be legally binding, because essentially what happened in Abia State is outside the constitutional provisions of the Labour Party itself?
You know, I'm not a lawyer, and I wouldn't go that route with you, but it is clear to the blind that our national chairman was walked out of INEC meetings, and the last meeting, we had no representative. I think the leadership of the party, they are better, you know, aware of the consequences of a lacuna in such a big party that might probably, you know, I mean, take the mantle of leadership in Nigeria someday. We do not want to waste our time, you know, digging to the law. The stakeholders and owners of the party, they have met and they have decided. That's all I can tell you. We are moving on. If there's any legal lacuna, they have to go and figure it out. As far as we are concerned, we are going to strengthen the party. Nenadi Usman, distinguished our amiable new caretaker chairman, she has 90 days to strengthen and refocus Labour Party to winning the elections, and that's what we are looking forward to.
Yeah, You talk about law aside, because, I mean, if we put the law aside, then everything else is basically senseless, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, it all boils down to the legality. Two wrongs don't make a right. And if you're trying to fix the problem, there is a right way of doing things. Talk to me about how this wrong, which is quite obvious if you go by the party's constitution, right, can actually produce something meaningful. Aren't you already starting on a wrong footing? Because never in the history of any political party has a governor convened a meeting of this magnitude that ended up ushering in a caretaker committee. It's safe to say that your group is not playing by the rules.
Recall that there was a tenure expiration, which was prolonged by 1 year by this same group you're condemning. Who were those that sat and extended it to another year? You know, when someone realizes that he needs to leave the space, you know, masquerades don't dance too long. You know, when you dance and achieve your aim, you give way for another masquerade. It's a proverb in my Igbo land. Abure himself knows that it's time up, unless there are other motives to diminish the will of Nigerians, which we obedience fought for and spent our monies for a new Nigeria. Oh, Abure, you know, the chairman before, our former chairman, I will condemn him. I've said it. We are all part of this 2023 struggle. But the time is up for him, you know, to leave the party, to move to the next level. They will have to figure out the law terms in it. But as an obedient and a stakeholder, we have done what is right for our party to refocus it to winning the election in 2027, to go back to the grassroots, build it from the wards to the local government and to the national level. A formidable, all-inclusive congresses that will get us into a very solid convention that the whole party stalwarts from Nigeria and all over the world will gather and have a new direction and a new leadership. That is what we are focusing on. And that was why I flew all the way to Umuahia to make sure that I'm a part of this change that is coming.
All right. We can obviously agree to disagree about the place of the constitution of the party in all of this development, right? But there are a lot of people watching this development with keen interest, supporters of Peter Obi, members of the Labour Party who are either disillusioned or unhappy about these developments and are perhaps saying that the biggest enemy or the threat of the Labour Party is people within the party itself, whether it's the obedient camp or the Abure camp. Where is the room for reconciliation? Because a couple of days before now, or just a little over a week, when the Abia State Governor Alex Oti called for that meeting, convened that meeting, he actually said, you know, let's convene a NEC meeting. And Abure called a press conference to say, listen, you're not in any position to actually call for a meeting in the first place because it's against the rules, it's against the constitutional provisions of the Labour Party, which is actually a matter of fact. Where do you go from here? Because it does look like this decision from Abia is going to come back to haunt the Labour Party, because if they do go to the courts, on the side of the law, the Abure camp is right.
You are concluding as if you are a lawyer. Well, I can tell you that in my language, in Igbo land, an elder cannot sit at home while a pregnant woman will give birth on the floor. It is our responsibility as elders to make sure that we protect our party. I don't think anybody in Labour Party is aggrieved with what siding what Abure is insinuating. We just have a bunch of distractors who are about to pull down the Labour Party and what we built the last years, and we are not going to allow them. We are not afraid of the legal whatever they are insinuating. When you have a chairman who has attended INEC meeting and was escorted out by security agencies, and the next INEC meeting, nobody is representing our great party. Hello. We are not, we are educated people. We are not going to allow this lacuna. We have distractors, probably moles planted to disrupt what we are doing now. We are not going to allow them.
Okay. In the realm of speculation, right, there are conversations. This past week, the Deputy National, or rather this week actually, the Deputy National Spokesperson of the PDP alluded while on national television that there are conversations ongoing between the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar, the Labour Party's presidential candidate in 2023, Peter Obi, and Rabi Musa Kwankwaso of the NNPP, that there is an alliance in the making. And just, connecting the dots with the accusations made by the Labour Party chairman in Kaduna that your group is actually planning to leave the Labour Party, and that is why all of this is happening. What do you have to say about, first, the talks of the alliance and the accusation that you are the destabilizers, the disruptors who are trying to look for a reasonable excuse to leave the Labour Party?
I'll be disappointed hearing this from you, looking at the P2B tsunami. This P2B is Labour Party. Labour Party ends at the doorsteps of P2B. I don't understand all these people on the sidelines. These are people who want to be relevant, and we are not going to waste our time with these people. If they think they have any lacuna, they should approach the courts. We don't want to dwell in the past. We are focused. And I can tell you that they know very well among themselves that they need to join back the moving train that is moving to victory. They have the right to agitate, but they know inside them that the Labour Party and its soul is with Peter Obi and Ahmed Dati. I'm not a lawyer, I repeat again. If they have any legal sense they can make, they should go ahead. But it will not stop Labour Party from strengthening itself and getting itself ready for future elections.
Yeah, just reading off of what Abure had to say as we wrap the conversation up, that obviously he, being the national chairman, the national secretary, as well as the national youth leader and a host of others were not in attendance. Also, the NLC president and the TUC president, according to the constitution of the Labour Party, which you conveniently dismiss all the time, are also supposed to be a part of the National Executive Committee meeting, which the meeting in Abia was not, by the way. But let's talk about what comes next. This 29-member committee that you've put together, the 90 days you've slated as part of the working period where they sort things out for the Labour Party to chart a new course. What are the deliverables? What are the objectives? And do you hope to reconcile with the other side of the faction?
First, I'm not letting the Abure issue go away. I'll just give you a proverb. When you have a family fight and the elders call you for a meeting and you refuse to come, and the elders will sit down and profile a solution for peace, it's only when you are a prodigal son that you will not abide by those rules. I don't dwell on looking for legal words for illegalities. So on that note, the Abure issue is dusted. Labour Party has a committee now to set it right in 90 days, and we'll have a convention that will encompass all obedience, all Labour Party stalwarts, from the wards to the local government, to the national, converging for a national convention that will give us new leadership. That's what we are looking forward to. That's where we are focusing on.
Right. Mr. Ikenna, it's been a pleasure talking to you on this particular issue. I suppose the next couple of weeks and months would promise to be dramatic and interesting to watch as developments continue to unfold within the Labour Party. Good luck to you, and we hope to talk to you soon about more of these developments. Thank you for joining us on Daily Politics tonight.
Thank you, and we are looking forward to take the Aso Rock in 2027.
All right.
Abure will join us with time, don't worry.
Good luck with that. Thank you so much for joining the conversation.
Thank you.
And that is our show for you tonight. Thank you most kindly for joining us. Feel free to be a part of the next episode. It's coming your way tomorrow live at 8 p.m. You can also do well to follow us across our social media platforms to stay in touch. Also visit our website, trusttv.com, for more programs, news and documentaries. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. From myself and the rest of the team, thank you for watching and good night.